Um, so just a quick couple of housekeeping things to go over really quickly. First of all, welcome to everybody. Also, like I just mentioned, if you're not giving a presentation today, if you could please turn off your video and your audio. It just keeps the bandwidth down, especially there. I see there's now like 80 of us in, which is amazing. But as the number gets higher, it kind of starts to lag a little bit. And we'd like to hear everybody that has something to say. And on a little privacy note, I do want to mention that this session is being recorded. So if there's any privacy concerns like that, I just want to make that shared later after the meeting on the faculty orientation Brightspace show. And so with all of that, I'm going to first pass on in just a few minutes to Dr. Travis Fridgen and to Sharene. Dr. Fridgen is the Dean of Science, and Dr. Bungay is the Associate Dean of Science. Both of them, by the way, Kristen, I can see your screen now, so that's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Both of them are also active professors, so it's completely possible that in the future you might have them as professors. And then after that, we're going to pass on to Kristen White. She's the Career Development Coordinator, and she runs dozens of events throughout the year, but I'll let her talk more on that once we get there. And then after those three have a chance to speak, there'll be a short video kind of outlining the resources that are available to you once you get on campus in future semesters, and hopefully in the winter semester. And with all of that, Dr. Fridgen, if you wanted to get started, the floor is yours.
All right. I don't know, Kristen, if you want to close your...
I am sorry about that. I'm trying
okay.
to...
I can only see your screen.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to turn... Sorry, new to WebEx, I always use Brightspace. Let me see. Okay, I think I did it. I'm not sure.
I'm still seeing it.
Sure.
That's okay. At the top of your screen, Kristen, do you see like small little orange thing that says like stop sharing and stuff like that?
Stop sharing. Sorry, I'm putting up the show.
No worries.
It's good to, next time we'll send the presentations to you. Hang on for a second.
It would be at the bottom. Check it out. Stop your video.
Trying to find out how to do. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Is there any way that Travis can? I guess he can't open up his while mine.
Well, actually, I just wanted to see the screen, but I can go ahead. I don't have a PowerPoint.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Hang on.
So, I'm Travis Fridgen. I'm the Acting Dean of Science. Welcome to Memorial and welcome to the Faculty of Science. And welcome to my home office. I should probably introduce some of my co-workers. I think you can see Kobe and Joey on that side, and Jackie on that side. They don't usually say much unless someone goes by the window, in which case I'll have to pause until they stop yapping. But they do keep me sane most of the working day while I'm by myself. Wow, it's September 1st. September's pretty much over. School's about to start. I know that for most of you, the way that high school ended, no classes, no exams, that's probably good, but unfortunately, no prom. This wasn't anywhere near how it had played out in your mind, but you made it through. Despite the challenge, you made it through. You're here at Memorial now, and I congratulate you for that. And I'm amazed at your resiliency. I hope you're all excited about your first year of university studies at Memorial. Unfortunately, our shared challenges are not yet over. I know that no one, not you, your profs, no one, was envisioning a remote semester to start your university career. The decision to offer a remote fall semester was not taken lightly, I assure you. It was done with your safety in mind first and foremost. Some of you may have taken a remote Memorial course over the summer, but most of you are taking your first course beginning next week. Likewise, some instructors delivered a course remotely for the first time this summer, but the vast majority of us are doing it for the first time beginning next week. I guarantee you this semester is going to have a steep learning curve for everyone. You, your profs, your TAs, your lab instructors, your parents, everyone. But we'll get through this together. One thing I will assure you is that you have some of the finest instructors in the world leading your classes. Your profs and lab instructors have been working very hard all summer to provide you with the highest quality instruction in an online environment that will keep you engaged. Everyone at Memorial is working hard, and I urge you to do the same. The hard work you put into your courses is directly proportional to what you will get out of them. The goal here is learning. You will receive an excellent education. So as Carter said, I'm not only the dean, but I'm also a professor of chemistry. So I will be seeing some of you very soon, and I look very forward to that beginning next Wednesday. I also want you to know that I'm a proud Memorial University parent, and I don't know if you can see this, but it says Memorial University Dad. My oldest two children are studying here at Memorial, one of them beginning his first year just like you. And I'm not sure if he's on this because there's so many of you, but I hope he is. As a parent, I'm enthusiastic about the education my children are going to receive this fall. I'd like to end off by giving you some advice that I've given my children and that I've given quite literally thousands of students over the last 20 or so years. Find something that excites you here at Memorial. Most of you probably don't know exactly what you want to do in 4 or 5 years' time. Many of you do know exactly what you want to do. And for those of you who know, I guarantee many of you are going to change your mind at some point. As someone who spent 9 years studying more than 9 years studying and more than 20 years working at various universities, I know that the way to succeed in your university education is to find something that excites you and put all your effort into it. That means don't be afraid to pivot and change directions. If a course looks interesting to you, take it, whether or not it's necessary for your degree. You might really enjoy it and maybe decide to pursue a minor in it. Or maybe even just take more courses in that subject. You might even decide that that's your true passion and you might pivot to a whole different major. That's why in first year, it's so important that you take a lot of different courses, and you're going to take a minimum of 5 different subjects over the entire year. Explore your interests. So these challenging times will be a memory soon enough. The pandemic will come to an end and hopefully soon. At that point, I hope to meet you all face to face, either in class or in the hallways. If you see me around town, walking my dogs at a grocery store, or I spend a lot of time at Costco, please stop me and say hi and introduce yourself. And to end off, work hard this summer. Hard work always pays off. You're muted, Carter.
I am muted, you're right. Definitely, thank you. And I want to emphasize that last point, that hard work definitely does pay off. And I'll pass on directly to Dr. Bungay.
Okay, thank you. I do have a PowerPoint to share.
Oh,
I'll see if I can do that. Let me see.
There we go.
Does that work? Wow. I'm also not used to this setup here. We'll see. You guys can see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, welcome everybody. I just want to extend a warm welcome to everyone to Memorial University and the Faculty of Science. I'm Sharene Bungay, and I am a faculty member in the Computer Science Department. I also teach first year courses, including this coming semester, Computer Science 1001, so I may be seeing some of you next week as well. And I'm also an alumni of Memorial University. So just wanted to take a few minutes to highlight some of what the Faculty of Science has to offer. So in the faculty, we have 9 departments with 25 different majors, including a Bachelor of Science in Geography and Economics. We also have the option of taking a minor, and whether that's in another science subject or whether that's from a different faculty, humanities and social sciences, business, music, engineering, they're all options in terms of a minor. We also have, for each major area, we have the option of an honors degree, which has a slightly different requirements, including a number of additional courses and so on. And for those of you who are trying to decide exactly what degree you're doing, I would suggest aiming for honors, and that will ensure that you have all of the courses that you need during your first year. Now let me see. My view just changed. Can you guys see that whole first screen?
We see the screen, and it says like click to add title on that one slide.
Oh, okay. Does it just switch?
Yep. Now like program
Okay.
faculty.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So we have we have more than 30 joint majors or joint honors programs in the Faculty of Science, and you can also do a joint Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts degree. A number of our programs have co-op options like biology, behavioral neuroscience, psychology, computer science, and economics. And we would recommend that you declare your major early, and I'll talk about a couple of reasons why you want to do that in a moment. In terms of faculty or departmental supports within the faculty, so each department has an academic advisor. And you'll see for this event, there are a number of departmental events that you can attend over the next couple of days to get more detailed information about programs and various events in those departments. We also have within the Faculty of Science a number of help centers. So if you're doing a course in chemistry or math, computer science, physics, or economics, and you're looking to ask some questions, you can drop into a help center. Most help centers this fall semester are operating remotely, and if you are registered for a course in one of those departments, you will also find within your Brightspace shell a help center course. You'll be automatically enrolled in that, and you can drop in there and ask questions of instructional assistants, teaching assistants, and so on. Our departments also have active undergraduate student societies, and most of them probably have web pages where you can get more information, find out how to join. I would highly recommend joining the undergraduate student societies in the department that you're part of. They have various social events. They're great sources of information. Other students who are going through the program, they send out information about different events that may be of interest to you and so on. And also in the faculty, as Carter mentioned, we have our career development facilitator, Kristen White, who will be saying a few things in a moment. At faculty level, we also have a number of scholarships and awards, and there's some opportunities also for research. So there's a Dean's List, which is awarded annually, the Lou Byzantine Award, which is an award that's given to students who are on the Dean's List each year of their program. We have a book prize and a co-op student of the year. There's also funds available in terms of scholarships from different departments. So again, I mentioned declaring your major early. Departments will decide on scholarships from their list of students who are declared as a major in that subject. So it's very important for you to declare your major. Some departments have competitive entry into the major, so you can check that out during your first year and even your first semester to ensure that you are doing the courses needed to declare your major towards the end of your first year. And in terms of research, there are also opportunities for you to get involved. There's paid summer research programs, which will be announced towards the end of the fall semester. So those are positions where you would work with a faculty member to do research during the summertime. And also, we have a number of programs available for students to work during the semester, fall, winter, and spring. So those are a few hours a week. Those programs are USEP, ISWEP, and SWASP. So at the beginning of each semester, if you're interested in working, maybe doing some research with a faculty member, for example, there will be a number of those types of positions posted at the beginning of each semester. I know in the remote environment, some of these are still happening. So in a couple of weeks, if you take a look at the USEP website, for example, there will be a number of jobs posted there, and students can work with faculty members remotely throughout the fall semester. And finally, there are lots of information what I just said. I just want to point you towards the science website. There are additional details on each of the things that I just mentioned, and also additional information about different supports and opportunities within the Faculty of Science. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharene. I'll also just say there'll be a time for questions at the very end. But one question that I just saw pop up, and I know you touched on this, Dr. Bungay, but one of the questions was, when should we declare our major after first year?
So it sort of depends on the department. At the end of first year is the typical time when students would declare their major. As I mentioned, in some cases, departments have specific requirements for courses that you should have taken during your first year in order to declare your major. So you can check that out now, get in touch with the department, check their website to make sure you have all of the courses that you'll need to declare your major at the end of first year. So in April.
Awesome. And I'll also say, if you tune into if you are lucky enough to have an idea in mind as to the major that you want to declare, there will be an opportunity for nearly every department later on, tomorrow and Thursday. I'll touch on this later, but they will go over all of those prerequisites and such during their 45-minute session. And now we can go directly on to Kristen White.
All right. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Good? Okay, I just unmuted. I'm hoping these slides will work for me. The slide gods are in my hands. But I'm a science career advisor with the Faculty of Science, and I'm just going to give a quick overview of career development and the different types of services that are provided for students. I know I went through university and I had no idea that a career development office even existed. So it's good to have it. It's there for students and graduates when you graduate and move on into careers. You paid enough money as a student, you deserve to have these services for free. I really don't think I did this PowerPoint right because there's no way to move the slides, but I can wing it. I don't have to have that PowerPoint presentation. It's my first time using WebEx. I normally use Brightspace. So instead of wasting time and trying to figure that out, I can just talk. So basically, oh, someone just said I am now the presenter. Let's see if that helps. Nope. That's
if
okay.
you just change the slides within PowerPoint, should do it.
Oh, Yes, because you had the whole screen. Anyway, I won't waste too much time on this because I know people have things to do today. But we can have this PowerPoint sent to students anyway. So too bad about that, but that's okay. Anyway, the types of services that I provide as an advisor are I help out with your job search. I help out with resume writing. And a lot of times we have students come to see us near the end of their term and they're panicking, they're job searching, and they didn't build up their resources from their very first year. They didn't come see a career advisor at the beginning. They come near the end because they're panicking a little. But we always say it's good to visit the career office or career advisor at the beginning. As figuring out your interests and your goals. Your interests and goals may change and develop. So we're here to sort of coach you along and help you figure out what types of careers exist. And we have many different types of assessment tools to help along the way. So we have personality assessments throughout, like, for example, career cruising. You can do a test online and then you get your results. And you're answering questions about your interests and
I'm not sure if this is the same for everybody, but Kristen, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. It's cutting out a little. That might be because there's a lot of people in the meeting right now. But what I will say is that for everybody watching, I do have Kristen's PowerPoint, and I will post that on the Brightspace shell to look through at a later time. No worries, things are crazy with internet and all of that. I just had my internet put in a couple of hours ago, so but yeah, so Kristen, you can just keep going and it'll come back, hopefully. Okay, so I think we just lost Kristen. The connection might have been poor or whatever. If she comes back, then we can pick up the presentation where she left off. But with that, I'm just going to move on to, I have a short little video that kind of outlines, I know Dr. Bungay did a great job mentioning the resources available on campus. And so we've put together like a short little video outlining those and kind of showing you the outside of some of the buildings that you can visit once you're on campus again. Fair warning though, we were filming this in a socially distanced outdoor way, and if you're familiar with St. John's, the wind can be bad and there's always construction. So I'll kind of reiterate things that weren't clear in the video. But now let's see if I can figure out so can we see my screen? Sorry, can you hear the audio? Yeah, okay, perfect.
dedicated portion of the UC fund, and as well on Thursdays and events put off by the chaplain, possibility so you can get the possible have a snack with friends and discuss their lives.
This is the chemistry physics building. In this building, there are many resources again. There's the chemistry help center, the chemistry physics help center, and the math first year help center.
So here we have the science building, and the science building is home to several departments of faculty of science, such as psychology, biology, biochemistry, and geography. It contains several undergraduate labs, and it also contains research space for faculty and graduate students. In addition to that, upper-level undergraduate students and graduate students, depending on the course, can become teaching assistants or TAs and help the lab directors with first or second level courses in the science. In addition to that, there's also several other resources available in the science building, such as the Academic Advising Center, which helps first-year students and undergraduate students help pick a career path and gives them course suggestions and career path suggestions based on their strengths and interests, and as well as contains the writing center. So the writing center is a place for students to go to receive feedback and constructive criticism on their written work and to work with a tutor, so a graduate student in English or an upper-level student in English to receive feedback and suggestions.
This is the Queen Elizabeth II library. There. Okie dokie. Let me just go back to Webex. Okay. So, Kristen, I saw that you came back in, and I could see from the chat that the video is cutting in and out. I will post the video on the Brightspace shelf, and I can see about getting it on the YouTube as well. What I was saying at the end there is that as of right now, if you're in the St. John's area, of course, the library is doing curbside pickup. And there is a computer lab in the chemistry building. It's C2003, that's the room number, where you can use that computer lab if you don't have access to reliable internet, like it might seem that I don't, at there, obviously, if you're in the St. John's area. And I'll make sure that all that information is posted to the Brightspace. Kristen, if you wanted to go ahead again and try again with your presentation, you can.
Sure. Sorry about that. I lost connection on my laptop, so now I'm on my phone. But you know, that's what we're living in right now. We have to take it and deal with it. But yes, so I'm not sure where I left off, but I can say that yes, I am a science career advisor, and I help out with your resume writing, your job search, your career planning to figure out what types of careers exist out there, how to get resources, how to start. And I know I mentioned before that a lot of students come to see us, you know, in their senior years, third, fourth year, and they're kind of panicking, wondering about how to get jobs, and you know, they've never really had the right resources or strategies on how to find jobs. There is a hidden job market. A lot of jobs, you know, many jobs aren't publicly advertised. It doesn't mean that they're not advertised at all. It just means employers won't advertise them for various reasons. And so some employers will come to networking events on campus, for example, and they'd prefer to meet with students on campus. So as a career advisor, my job is to connect you guys, students and alumni, with people who work in the industry to increase your chances of obtaining employment. So I host such things as science career talks, whereby science alumni will come in and speak about, how they navigated their job search and how they obtained their current careers. And they give you tips and strategies on what you can do to get to where you want to be in your career path. So knowing as much as you can. We always say to students, come to see a career advisor earlier rather than later. You don't want to wait until your final year to start career planning. It doesn't start when you graduate. It actually starts when you are a first-year student or even before that. So it's really good to learn what types of resources are offered through career development and book an appointment with us, a one-on-one appointment. Right now, everything is virtual, or we do email. So I also do mock interviews if you are struggling with your interview skills and wondering how to go about it. As the career advisor, I would act as the employer and you would be the candidate, and I would give you tips and feedback on how you did in your interview, in your practice interview. So we help out in many, many ways to learn what types of transferable skills that you have gained from your school, your education, your volunteer, all of these different types of things, and learning about what type of personality you are. What type of career would you enjoy based on your type of personality? There are really good assessments out there that you can take. They're like 5-minute tests that you can do to get results on what types of careers you may enjoy based on your interests. Sometimes you come to MUN based on, what teaching is the best thing to go into these days, or I hear nursing is great. But you really aren't thinking about, okay, what do I like? What are my interests? What are my goals? What are my natural talents? What do I enjoy? So these are what we coach you along and help you figure out yourself what you would enjoy. So we also have employers who come in and through speed networking events. I host various speed networking events whereby employers come in and they sit at tables. Right now it's not that way, it's virtual. So it would be a virtual speed networking event. But they talk about their companies and what they offer and what types of backgrounds they hire for. So all of this is very, very important throughout your career development. And there's also a job searching club for science students that happens in the winter semester. So you can certainly apply for that. And it's weekly sessions, and it's basically a support group for you in your job search. It's usually for senior students, like 3rd, 4th year students. Whereas Science Career Talks and the other networking events are for any science students or even alumni. When you graduate, we have alumni come to events as well. So all of this is offered for you. And if you want to, this presentation can be sent to you anyway, and it can be up in Brightspace as well. I believe it was. But you can also email me or book an appointment with me through Navigate. But you can email me. My email is klwhite@mun.ca. My name is Kristen White. So you're more than welcome to book an appointment with me anytime throughout your degree to learn more about yourself and what types of careers exist and anything else career development related, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. It didn't cut out at all that time, so everything you said went through, at least on my end.
Good.
Yeah, it's funny. Internet can be weird sometimes.
Yes. Thank you.
And before I let you guys go, because that's all that we have planned just for this session, I want to mention all the other sessions that we have going on later today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So tonight at 7:00 p.m. Newfoundland time, we will have an alumni night with a couple alumni just telling their stories about, how they got their science degrees, any tips that they may have, and where their science degree at MUN was able to take them in the future. And I know personally their stories will resonate with all of you, depending on, or all of you, no matter what kind of degree plan you're thinking of taking. And then tomorrow and Thursday, there's 8 departmental information sessions. These will have academic advisors, professors, and lab staff. We'll go over things like how their specific department's program requirements and anything for them, and also talk about how their courses are going to run for this semester, as it's a little different like every department is dealing with things a little bit differently, and every department has different things, but it is going to be a primarily remote semester, and so there are going to be some changes that we want you to be aware of. And with that, you can find all of that information online at mun.ca/science/future/welcome. It's also already been posted in the Brightspace, which I know a bunch of you have already clicked on and seen that page. And with that, are there any questions? I've been trying to keep an eye on the chat, but are there any questions? And please don't put anything super unnecessary in the chat, just questions so we can hopefully get to them all. I see a question, where do we see the books that we need to get for our courses? So from that, you can see if you have access to your course already in Brightspace, it's different for like each course. You can look it up on the bookstore website, which I believe is just bookstore.mun.ca, I believe.
Or just Google Mun Bookstore. It'll come up. Google is the best.
And if you have access to your course in Brightspace, you can see the syllabus then, hopefully, and if not, in your first lecture with that course, your professor will go over all the required texts and stuff.
Oh, my email address is it's klwhite@mun.ca. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Allison.
I'm posting the link to the URSA slash, sorry, I lost it, URSA/SURA.
There's a question about applying for research positions that's come up a number of times. The best way to apply for research positions, in my view, we don't typically post positions unless they're MUSEP type positions, which Carter, you'll have to tell us how to look for MUSEP positions. But if you want to volunteer in somebody's lab or apply for an NSERC, USRA, or a Science SURA, the best way to do that, I mean, those won't be available until closer to Christmas, but do a bit of homework, go online, look up research, and then contact a professor. They love to talk about their research, and they'll make it sound a lot better than it looks on a website. And then you just make contacts. You have to be able to go and talk to people. Send an email. All of our emails are on site or on websites.
Yeah, and for how to find MUSEPs and stuff like that, if you go to my.mun.ca, which you'll find yourself going to a lot throughout the semester, under the Students tab, there's a whole bunch of resources there. One of those will bring you to like the Career Development tab, which you can find jobs even in the summer, and also MUSEPs will be posted there. And yeah, engineering has their own orientation, which you can find out probably through their website. And yeah, unfortunately, psychology was not available to do a department information session. And I know that like a lot of students have an interest in psychology, and so they will be providing within the week a PowerPoint that will go over all of their programs and stuff that they would have already gone through in the information session online, and I will post that in the Brightspace that you guys can look at. A question here on do we log into our based on our schedule? I assume that's talking about like for the lectures and stuff like that. I believe, yes, you would just log on based on your schedule. And there should be in Brightspace, I'm assuming, like links that the professor has posted to if they're doing like a WebEx meeting, a Brightspace meeting, or whatever medium that they're using for their class. And when it reaches that.
If you go on to your D2L shell, some courses won't show up until September 9th, in which case you go in and there should be announcements and your professor will tell you whether there will be a synchronous meeting or not. But the best place to find that out is on your D2L shell. Some faculty already have their Brightspace D2L, that's the same thing. They already have that available for you. So you should be able to see what's going on during your first class. Some of them, they won't show up until the 9th. Just wait till the morning of the 9th and take a look.
Required textbooks should also be available, I guess, in the course syllabus posted for your course, which is also available in Brightspace.
And the bookstore will say required or not, but I would still wait until your instructor tells you whether you should buy a book or not.
That's a really good point.
Depends on the course whether or not, I guess, classes will be pre-recorded. Some instructors may be doing synchronous lectures and others are doing asynchronous, so they'll be pre-recorded and posted in Brightspace or whatever platform the instructor is using.
For a bunch of people wanting to know about the engineering orientation, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about that, but what I would direct you towards is the engineering, like the Faculty of Engineering, their website. Will the classes be saved on Brightspace to watch later? You guys would have to know for sure, but I would assume that would be depending on the professor and depending on the course.
Your instructor will let you know. I assume the vast majority of faculty are going to either pre-record their lectures and make them available to you in one at a time or a few at a time. If faculty members are doing their classes in real time or synchronously, then they'll probably be recording them as well and making them available to you. But they'll let you know all of that will be available on the D2L or Brightspace page.
Dr. Fridgen or Dr. Bungay, do you know how tests will be conducted?
It'll be different for different classes. So tests, some departments are going to have proctored tests, so remotely proctored tests through WebEx. Some of us won't have proctored tests. They'll be more or less very low mark quizzes or low mark tests worth only a few marks, and they'll be timed. They'll probably be, but not necessarily. You'll be given, a certain time frame throughout a day because of, people are in different time zones and things like that, where you have a certain amount of time to go in, log on, and complete the test. But your instructors, everyone's going to be very different. So your instructors will tell you all about that. There's a question about how labs are being done. Again, they're all going to be remote. That's one thing I can assure you. So obviously labs in science, the reason we do them is so you can have a hands-on experience. Certainly I can speak from chemistry's point of view or biochemistry's point of view, but even biology and physics, there are techniques you need to learn how to do things with your hands. That's not going to happen this year. So we'll make up for it in future years, but that doesn't mean what we're going to bring to you isn't very worthwhile. So there's going to be a lot more attention paid to data analysis, which is something that we all really, really need. More attention paid to write-ups of your labs, how to present science in a coherent way. So yeah, labs will be more like short projects, and they'll be different in different disciplines as well. But they'll be, again, explained by your professor in a lot more detail, but that's about it in a nutshell.
Dr. Fridgen, I'm seeing a question. My schedule has a conflict. Will that be a big issue while giving the tests? Talk to your instructors. For the most part, probably not. It's probably not going to be an issue, but your instructors will let you know. Whether, some instructors may have a test that you can only do for a certain period of time, say an hour, but that's probably going to be for smaller classes. I would imagine larger classes, but that's not necessarily true. It's up to the instructors. We'll have a certain range of times where you can log in, so it won't be necessary for you to log in during your class time. Yeah, Kelly's doing a great job at posting a bunch of the links to the science website, which is a great place to look if you have any questions that you can't get answered here. I know probably a lot of questions are getting buried in the chat, unfortunately.
There's a question about Math 1090, and I can't answer that question. Your instructor will have to answer that about when the classes will be timed, how they'll be timed. And for that, why are you trying to get everyone to join a WhatsApp group?
For the questions that are like department specific, like the Math 1091, I would say you could probably get a lot of help there, assuming that they're not class specific or like professor specific, at the different department talks if you wanted to tune into those or if you had time. to tune into those tomorrow and Thursday.
So some of these questions about math, if you're not seeing math in your schedule, there's one of two things. Either below it, you need to say, what's the schedule after September 9th? There might be a little link. But the other thing is you may be signed up for an online course. So while everything may seem to be online, we actually have two kinds of courses. Courses that are remote, those are ones where you would normally come to class, but then there are actually online courses where there are no classes, even if we weren't in this remote situation. So that probably means, and the same with, all the English classes are remote. So there are no class times for English 1090. But that's probably true for some of the math sections as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like some, and I know because I'm registered for a math course. It's like when you registered for the course through self-service, it said like we'll have some asynchronous content on Tuesday 8 to 9, whatever, and that's why it's not showing up in your thing, like Dr. Fridgen just said.
There's been a couple of questions about how the chemistry labs will be, and like I said, they're going to be more like little projects where you're given data to analyze. There might be some, in some of the labs, some videos as well for you to watch. There might be a few exercises where you can, I don't know, titrate, pour some liquid into another liquid, make solutions all online. There will be things like that, but you'll see more of that next week when classes start. And your labs won't start for at least another week after classes begin, for chemistry at least. I'm not sure about the other sciences.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the departments, the labs do not start on the first week. There's a question here. I plan to apply for pharmacy faculty for the fall 2021 semester. So do I still need to declare a major, or how does that work?
So once you apply and then are accepted to the pharmacy faculty, you're no longer in the Faculty of Science, so you wouldn't declare a major anymore. You're now a pharmacy major at that point. If you didn't get into pharmacy for some reason, it's a competitive entry program, that means that you can still continue doing science courses. And at that point, it's a good idea to declare a major for a science. You can still apply for pharmacy again, in which case you'll automatically be moved to the pharmacy and your major will be dropped. But it's a good idea, at least at the end of your first year, to choose a major if you're not accepted into another faculty.
I should say also that we, at Career Development, we used to do mock interviews for different programs, such as pharmacy. Right now, we don't do the mock interviews because we didn't have the capacity, as many career advisors. So now I do believe they do group sessions. I'm not sure if they're still doing them virtually, but it's something to look into because it's good practice to know what types of questions could be asked and how to act in a pharmacy interview, or get some tips and advice.
There's some questions about the integrity course and the Science 1807 and 1808 courses. Those are completely online. They shouldn't take you much more than, I forget about the integrity course. It's been a while since I completed that, but I did complete it. I think it takes maybe an hour or so, and the other one's probably under an hour. But yes, once you get 80% on the quiz, you're done.
Yeah, they really don't take that much time at all. So if you haven't had time to do that yet, now's the time to do that.
And it's a really good idea to get those done, anytime that you have a spare few moments, like before classes start, get them out of the way.
Those science safety courses are not required for computer science labs. I think that's what that last question was there.
Yeah. You'll know if you needed to take science 1807 and 1808 because they'll be on your in your D2L shell and on your schedule listed as courses, and you wouldn't have been able to register for, say, chemistry or biology without first registering for those courses. Everyone has to do Integrity 1000. So someone's asking about, since labs don't start for the first week. Now I'm only talking about chemistry there. Others may start. But again, the timing of those labs and when you actually need to be somewhere at a certain period of time, and by somewhere I mean online at a certain time, your instructors will let you know via the D2L shell. And all of those courses, 1807, 1808, and Integrity 1000, have a quiz at the end that you have to get 80% on. And I believe you do have to have watched all the slides in order to get to the quiz. You can't just skip to the end.
Who can we contact for advice in major selections, especially for joint major programs?
So every department has an academic program officer. Those are probably the best people to contact. And if you don't know who they are, contact the head of the department or somebody in the department. And they'll let you know how to do that. There is a link, which I don't have, it's just not available to me right now, where you can fill out a PDF to sign up for a major. Now, in some departments, Sharene might be able to talk more about this. You do it through your student shell. What's that called, Sharene?
There's an online web form available for some departments. So you would just go to the department's website. They have a link there. You log in with your Mon login, and you will be able to fill out. Some of it's auto-filled, so you'll be able to fill out whatever information you need to declare your major. I'm going to post in the chat here the link to the list of academic advisors for departments as well.
Oh, good. Is there a penalty for missing class? Your instructor will let you know. I'm doubtful if there's a penalty for missing classes. There would be a penalty for not handing in things to your classes. The difference between tuition in Corner Brook campus or St. John's or off campus, this year I don't think there is a difference in tuition between any of the campuses and, say, online tuition. Everything is the same as far as I know. And if you want to apply for a joint major or a joint honors, the timing is the same. At the end of your first year is a good time. Now, there are some departments who might accept your application early. But you can talk to the academic program officers. Anything about tuition, I would guide people to the registrar's office. That's outside of the Faculty of Sciences purview. We don't do anything with tuition. We're an academic unit. The registrar's office, they're the ones that deal with the money. So again, anything tuition related, you need to talk to the registrar's office. The cost for books, go either to your D2L shell or the bookstore, and they'll have book costs. I'm not sure what the exact book costs are. So there's a question about computer science. Computer science, I believe, is one of the ones that it's through their student shell. Is that right, Sharene? To declare computer science major?
Yes, so for computer science, the department accepts applications once per year. So I think the form is usually June 1st. So I think the form is currently taken down. It'll be available a little later on, sometime maybe in winter semester. So students have to complete, I believe it's 8 course requirements in order to declare a major in computer science. So towards the end of winter semester, there will be a link available for you to complete the form and submit it by the June 1st deadline.
So there's a question about recommending declaring a major before receiving a decision from a competitive entry faculty. It won't matter one way or another. If you choose a major before, it won't hurt or help, for that matter, your chances of getting into engineering or pharmacy. So it's a good idea to declare a major if you whether or not if you're applying, you should declare a major anyway. It's a good idea. So one of the other reasons for declaring a major is that some second year courses in some departments are locked to majors. So you might not be able to take a course in second year from a certain department unless you've declared a major. So it's a good idea to declare. Do we need books in soft or hard? It's totally dependent on you and whether they're offered in soft or hard or electronic. But if you prefer electronic, you can probably save money that way. Whether you prefer a hard copy or a soft copy or electronic, it's totally up to yourself. Exams. Good question about exams. There's going to be a final exam schedule, but again, your instructors will let you know how that exam is going to be administered and the timing of it. Extracurricular activities available through the Faculty of Science. That's a good one. The only thing I would recommend there is getting involved with your student societies. Carter, you probably have more insight into that, being the president of Ocean Sciences student chapter.
Yeah, so definitely get involved with your student societies if you have the opportunity, and you do have the opportunity. I'm going to find the link to all of the student societies and the faculty, and I'll post that in the chat. it's an amazing way to get involved with the with like extracurriculars in general. And there's tons of like opportunities like peer tutoring and stuff like that. If you need a little extra help, or if you find yourself excelling at certain things and you want to help other people that maybe aren't excelling. And I'm not sure, I can't speak for anybody but Ocean Sciences, but I'm sure that tons of student societies are going to be doing online or something in the form of WebEx, or they're still figuring that out.
I have to go soon, but there is a question here that I wanted to answer. A good question about 5 courses to declare a major, or can we declare by taking 4 courses per semester? It depends on the major. For example, I think, and this is something you can ask your APO, but for example, psychology, you probably need at least 8, if not 10 courses, and there might be other ones that are very prescriptive, but I do know a lot of the majors, as long as you have a certain, and a lot of them, they say a specific 8 courses. For example, for chemistry, they recommend, it's not imperative, but they recommend that you have English, 2 English courses, the 2 chemistry courses, the 2 physics courses, and 2 math courses before you declare a major. But we've certainly taken people without some of those courses. So each department's different. I think most of them list about 8. Sharene, is computer science that way?
Yeah, 8 as well. So 2 computer science, 2 math, 2 critical reading and writing, and 2 others. And students who are doing a Bachelor of Science degree in computer science would typically take another science, 2 courses in another science. And if you're doing a Bachelor of Arts, then you often take courses from humanities and social sciences as those other 2.
Yeah, I think most departments say 8, but it's not so much that, oh, I'm only going to take 8 courses, or 4 courses per semester. It's, in some cases, it's the actual courses that you take that are listed. But you can see those in the calendar for each of the departments.
Transfer credits do count. There's a question there about using transfer credits to get into the major. So if they're specific transfer credits, like you received a transfer credit for Math 1000, then yes, that would count towards your major requirements. I think that's the same for all, I assume it's the same for all units. I know it is in computer science.
So I think we've gotten to most of the questions. If anybody has any questions still lingering, do transfer credits count? I think Sharene just answered that one. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, if they're department specific, I would suggest that you reach out to that department individually, or tune into our department information sessions and you can ask the question directly there. If not, you can ask a question to, I'll put the email in the link on everythingscience@mun.ca, and then we'll pass along that question until it gets answered. But thank you all for coming out. Please, like I keep saying, tune into the alumni night tonight if you have time, and the ones later on. And I hope we were able to answer any questions or alleviate any anxiety that you might have with everything being online. Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So a very important thing that I want to tell you guys is that we have WhatsApp groups, Discord groups to connect students with
Okay, so all the Discord groups aren't like directly affiliated with Memorial, and so I hesitate to let those kind of go.
Yeah. Like, we, like the CS group, I'm in the Discord CS group. I'm like, we just made that group so like we can connect with each other since this semester is gonna be online, and yeah, just to make some friends. So like, I'm gonna leave the link in the chat, and yeah, I mean, like 50 people just joined it. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So
Great.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everybody for coming out. Tune into the sessions later if you have time. See ya.